So I'm going to link that all the way back round to the small people that we work with, that you work with, and how should we talk to young children about racism? What would you both say, if we start with Liz and then David?
Yeah, so I think, in the setting that I manage, it's a 47 place day nursery. All of my children are black and brown. Racial difference comes up quite often because they live in a world and occupy a world where not everybody is black and brown. And we also understand the impact of colorism and shadism, that not all black people are the same tone or shade. And when we're talking about racial difference, what we're acknowledging is that we come in a range of different shades and a range of different colors. We have a range of different hair textures, different shaped noses, eyes, mouth, everything on a very kind of basic level. When you're speaking to, say, 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds who will often have lots of questions, we are very explicit with how we talk about race in our setting, because, as I said, all of the children are black and brown, but it comes in a very kind of casual way. I think people think about, when you're speaking to children about race, that it's a really scary topic or a space to go into, which, people don't feel well equipped. But we are well equipped because we're looking at the human condition. And if you're talking about emotions and feelings with children, you will talk about, why do you feel sad? Or what's made you really excited today? Or what was really, really, really joyous? Joy is something that we would often speak about in the nursery. In the same way, children might say, oh, how comes he's light brown and I'm dark brown? Having those conversations and saying, well, why do you think? And they might talk to you about the weather. They might talk to you about having a suntan. They might talk to you about, do you think that when I get older, I'm going to be white? Do you think this colour is going to come off? Because these are conversations that 3-year-olds have. These are conversations and questions that they ask. And when those questions, I guess, come up by saying, wow, why would you want this colour to be different as you grow older? Why? Tell me. And then they might say, I don't know. And that's often the response, what they don't know. Now we know why, because we know about white supremacy. We know why there is sometimes a wanting to be white, because of the absolute consistent messaging that our children are receiving. But it is about really equipping ourselves as practitioners to get into anti-racist dialogue. David said, this podcast is not even near enough time to kind of get into it, but you just cannot be afraid to step into it. You must, as Susan Jeffers says, feel the fear and do it anyway. You must step into those conversations, and you must be prepared to open dialogue, because by me saying to a 3-year-old, well, why would you want to be white when you get older? That sets up a whole new train of thought for that child. Well, why would I actually? And then I might say, well, I really like my skin colour. Mine is really nice and brown like yours. And then that's where representation comes in, and why representation is so important, and why these kinds of conversations must be had